So Sam, is it pretty hot there?
Yeah, it's like 105.
Okay, yeah, that's hot.
So I mean, it's not that hot for you Vegas folk, but it's plenty hot for me.
I call that hot. 105 here is hot. I mean, it is 10 degrees cooler than me right now, but it's still hot. That's friggin' hot.
No, it's all about the humidity.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have
105.
more humidity than we do here,
Oh,
Sam. Gotta.
I definitely don't have more humidity. I, yes, maybe I have more humidity than you, but that still doesn't mean I have humidity.
Yeah. Because we're at like 0%. Actually, let me
Yeah,
check.
I'm probably at like 5.
Yeah.
yeah, and we're like at 90.
Right.
Ooh.
What is the humidity right now? Let's find out.
Okay, so actually, Vegas is at 6%. And then let's check. Sam, are you checking yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what?
What? Where you at?
There's a 40% chance of rain today.
Oh, that means that you must have some humidity going on.
I'm up to 18% humidity.
Whew. Yeah, man, that's rough. With
Yeah, that's about
105.
right. I mean, the internet says it's 99 outside. My thermostat says it's 105.
Okay, I trust the thermostat.
Yeah. Internet says tomorrow is going to be 109, Saturday will be 108, and Sunday will be 105.
Ooh, a heat wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only 33%. A couple days ago, it was like 85 or something. It was insane.
Yeah, Eric was saying St. Louis was having some pretty miserable weather with the humidity, high humidity.
It's really different.
Oh, Eric said his computer went dead. Man, people, it's so hot. Everybody's
The top
computers
of the
is
health
crashing.
district's website carries a warning about staying safe in extreme.
I should throw this out. Ever since I updated my AMD drivers, it's been crashing the whole time. So if AMD tech are listening, I'm pissed. I have to roll back. I'm probably going to roll back to like the old system. Never had a problem with that.
What is that? I guess I don't know tech enough to know what that is.
Oh, my video card driver. Yeah, so the video card, when the drivers got uploaded, or when I upgraded, like last week, it just started crashing. Like essentially the video would crash and it would take down my whole computer with it. It would freeze and lock everything up. That's what happened earlier.
Oh, I see.
Or like the screen would just go blank. So I'm gonna have to redo it and go back to roll all the way back to something that works.
Do you do some like gaming or like graphic design or anything that like you need to have a strong graphic card for?
No, I used to do more gaming. It's not like a really good card. It's good enough for what I needed it for. I don't do it as much anymore, so I think this is backwards.
What gaming do you do?
I used to play, a friend and I used to play Team Fortress like compulsively. And then you went over to, like, that's like typical games. You do League of Legends until community is so hostile, you just can't deal with it anymore. Move over to, played Dota and Overwatch, all that stuff. I mean, nothing really too out of the mainstream.
I see.
But I just don't really play as much anymore. Step backwards.
No,
What?
it's only backwards for you. It comes out straight
Yeah.
for us. It's
Okay.
always confusing with this app because it does that. I've been
Alright,
playing all right, he's back. I've been playing this
My
like
computer
digital
shut off.
this digital card collecting game that's like based on a blockchain called Gods Unchained. I've been having a lot of fun. Like, I don't ever do any gaming at all. Like, none. I think the last game I got into was like Dr. Mario, you know?
Oh, awesome game. Awesome game. Oh, Gods Unchained?
Yeah, Gods Unchained. It's got really cool graphics. It's kind of like Hearthstone or like Magic the Gathering, but like Magic was more of a, you know, analog, you know, real card game.
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. It's super fun, and like the community that's built around it is like a crypto community, which is cool. It's been like an interesting way to expand the audience beyond just, you know, the tea friends that we already have. And they're like, what, are you drinking tea? What's going on there? And then I can, you know, introduce Gung Fu tea to them.
Mm.
Everybody deserves a cup of good tea.
Yes, they do. They do.
Do they really?
I think.
See, they really, Jeremy.
Like,
Don't get me started.
what people are we talking about?
We're talking about people. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Are we streaming? Did I
Yeah,
say that?
You said
Oh,
that on public.
no.
You know, we can clip that.
No. And yet I'm a little proud. I don't know.
You've said some really profound things on stream before.
Yeah? Maybe it just makes me come out more? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other thing that you said, like last year. You said something that was just so profound.
I don't remember. I don't remember 90% of the things I say. It's probably a bad thing. What was that, Sam? You were going to say something?
I was gonna ask if anybody knew where Caleb was.
Yeah, I don't know where she is. I've been texting
Well,
with
she's
her
well.
a little bit here and there, and it seems that she's well. Yes. Oh, here I got. I'll listen to it. Okay. As a student of tea, you have to know when to settle down and relax. You said that, Eric.
I remember. That's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good quote. It's a good Ericism.
It's better than people, I'll admit.
Sohan just sent me a picture of his baby sleeping on top of the dog. Cute. Oh man.
Mm.
I sleep on top of the dog sometimes.
Yeah, okay, but your dog's big enough. That Chihuahua, that'd be a little problematic going to be sleeping on top of that.
Mm. It's odd. This shirt is the same color, and it's also silk.
Yeah, now you're back to the shirt that you started our day in.
I had two silk shirts. Different brands, but
It's not too hot and humid for silk, is it?
No, silk is very breathable.
Okay.
At least the ones I wear.
I'm not familiar with silk clothing. I don't think I've ever owned a silk article of clothing.
Yeah, there's like some silk is like really retains heat,
Yeah.
but the ones I wear are just really, I guess they're woven like more loosely. I don't know, but they're very good in hot temperature, and humid temperature is good.
Yeah. Hi, Don.
What's up, Don? How come Don never comes and hangs out with us in
I don't
Topia?
know. Maybe he's
He always hangs out with us on the stream.
too busy being a thought leader, leading all the thoughts.
Wow.
Somebody's got to do it. Otherwise, they just stay over there.
That's funny. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell this a story. While I was gaming the other night, one of the community members, Jesse, was hanging out there, and just started laying on the tea jokes. Man, it was like one after another. I'd never seen so many tea jokes at one time. They were pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good. I didn't catch. What was one? One was what starts with T, ends with T, and is full of tea.
Okay?
Thank you.
What did you say, Sam?
My day?
Pate?
My day.
Oh, your day. Oh, you're talking about like no, it's like the letter T. What starts with the letter T, ends with the letter T, and is full of tea.
I don't know.
Teapot.
Ha 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 ha.
You know, it's hard to make like a very high level intellectual joke around tea. Even though tea is a very intellectual beverage. Or can be.
That's what he said?
But there was one joke. I'll go look at the chat history. There was one that actually got me really laughing. Eric, you know any tea
Package.
jokes?
Nope, I don't think so. At least none come to mind. Do you? Yeah, probably. I'm sure you do. You just were talking about the person laying them out. Laying them out? I don't know. Oh. And the room went silent.
Okay, so here's it. I called the cops after hearing my neighbor yelling and screaming at his cup of tea for hours on end. It was herbal abuse.
God.
That's gold right there.
Oh yeah, made holy. Speaking of, the commandments and all of that stuff we were talking about earlier. Made holy water while making my tea yesterday. I just boiled the hell out of it. That was a good one. Because yeah, that's how you make holy water, right, Jeremy? Is that correct?
It's one way.
One way.
That's funny.
Any water left? No, no water. New tea.
What are you gonna
What
drink?
do I drink now?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I don't
pull out a
know.
new tea too. I don't know what to drink.
Well, I'll tell you what to drink, and you tell me what to drink.
I don't really feel
Bantan Baozhong.
I'll have to leave to go get that. I don't have any handy with me right here.
Nah. Do you have any shampoo?
I do. Is that what you want me to drink? I can
Okay.
do that. I'll do that.
Yes, I was drinking some earlier. Yeah. I've got almost everything. No, I don't have a lot of greens, except for Korean.
That's
And really, I
cute.
don't have much anyway.
That's green tea.
I drink all that up, and I drink most of that up in winter.
The green tea?
Yeah, I have like a taste for lighter teas in the winter, and a taste for darker teas in the summer. Yeah.
Your body is in reverse, huh?
Yes, it is. It is.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about that earlier.
Yes, we were.
You just got to be aware of it and you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Treat it accordingly.
Exactly. What do I drink, Lise?
Drink some Baojan
Beef wine.
yourself. Doesn't have to be the
Drink some
Bantam.
Baojan?
Yeah, bring some Baojan. Whatever you've got. I'm sure you got some good stuff
don't-
there.
I don't think I
Really, you drank it all?
have any. Yeah, I bought. I didn't buy that much.
Oh,
In winter, I bought some from Floating Leaves, but yeah, it's all gone.
I know that's a tea that you like, so that makes sense. It'd be.
Yeah, yeah. And especially over winter. Yeah.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I
herbal?
prefer the fall pick. What?
Do you have anything herbal?
No.
Kayla
I
Bear! Kayla Bear! Kayla Bear!
Hi.
Hi.
Yay!
I do have an herbal.
Oh, good. There you go.
I watched by Bewitched. I walked by Bewitched. She was wiggling her nose.
Yeah.
Welcome
I like
to
the
party.
fuzz balls. You got
My
like
little fuzz
a
ball.
eyebrow visor of them.
Kayla, how's the weather doing in your part of the world?
I mean, it's probably like 15 degrees cooler here than it is there, but it's hot.
So it's like 95 there.
No, it's 100 today, but it's been like 106.
Wow.
So today it's like cool.
Yeah, that's where Sam is at. They're at 105.
Yeah,
he
105.
said. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about this. Reminds me of a Milky Way. The smell is like a Milky Way bar.
I was like,
That
about this here
doesn't
climate
sound
change?
bad.
I don't know
No,
about that.
no, no. It's like a Mars bar or a Three Musketeers. That's what it is. Weird. It's barley sprout, not barley, but barley sprout.
Oh, it's probably good. I love.
Yeah,
is
it's
that
a
Korean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. From Sucha. They're here in Toronto, are they? Toronto. You know, this is. My friend Emmett was here earlier today, and we weighed a bunch of teaware. We measured how much they hold. Is that I'm gonna sell? I got like 10 brewing vessels. I'm gonna pass on to people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Eric, it looks like your space is set up differently.
Yeah, I mean, normally I've got the blinds in the back, and it was just too crazy, so I switched it up. I turned everything. Yeah. So I got these. Don't get me started on this Diptych. Is that how you
What?
pronounce it?
What?
The scrolls.
Okay.
Isn't that called a Diptych?
You called it a Diptych, or what
No,
you call it?
Diptych. I don't know. Diptych? I don't know.
Wait,
But you don't want to know who painted that.
A
You don't want to know
Diptych?
who painted
on a stream today?
What?
I heard Diptych.
Oh,
No dick pics allowed
Never
around
mind.
here.
Never,
Come on,
no,
Eric.
no, no, no.
No,
That's
no
not what I'm saying.
Let
Let me look at the spelling for it.
He's like, hold on, I'm Googling.
Do not
Here we
give
go.
dick pics, Eric. I don't recommend it.
No, no.
Rawr.
Whoa. Elise,
It is.
the front view of your kettle
Yeah,
and the water coming out the spout that you can see from the top down view,
yeah.
it made it look like the water was coming out of like the wrong side of your kettle.
Oh, that's,
Oh, yeah.
that's trippy. Oh, love it.
Okay. Diptych.
Diptych.
Diptych. All right, I'm letting this go. Don't. I'm not even
I know.
Shoot.
So yeah, what about the scrolls? You don't like them?
No, it's the person who painted them, and the calligraphy on there is chicken scratch, but it's the person who painted them, and I didn't know who he was, and when I got them from him, so he's a cult leader. I'll just say that.
Are
You know what I'm
trying
talking about,
to
Elise.
admit that you're in a cult?
No. Oh God, no. It was Aaron Fisher who painted those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scratch.
Yeah, the calligraphy is horrible. But, oh no. Come on, what am I thinking?
Calligraphy is hard work.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could even do better than that. Probably not, because it's with a brush. Couldn't do that.
You don't do well with brushes?
No, I mean, well, I never could paint. That was horrible. But I just can't hold a brush, really. Yeah. And then you hold it, differently, like up and down. We're supposed to, anyway. But I could do it better with a marker or calligraphy pen, but we'll see. No, we won't see. I'm never gonna do it.
I mean, that could be another one of those hobbies that could be a good use of time, you know?
Yeah. I could learn
Cross-stitch
cursive.
and calligraphy.
I could learn cursive for the first time ever. Jesus. Never taught it.
I write neater and more easily. My writing is more easily read when I write in cursive than when I write in not cursive.
That's interesting. I don't think that's
Print,
the case for most people.
No, I can't. I have a hard time reading cursive. So. I don't
Sam,
know.
when you write in cursive, do you find yourself paying more attention to your each letter that you make? Is that why?
No. Hang on a second. My phone's.
That's like the loudest ring.
Yeah.
That's my computer is ringing.
Okay.
Is that
Have
Skype?
us all join the call. Come on, that'd be fun. Just take all Topia
Yay.
to
We'll take us all in.
the call.
I think that's a Skype ring.
Yeah, that's Skype. Yeah.
Google Voice.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
No,
Who
longer.
uses Skype?
I don't know how long to keep this.
Yeah, that was not Skype. That was Google Voice.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
About cursive, when you're writing cursive, do
Oh.
you find yourself paying more attention to your each letter when you're writing?
No, I think more than anything, when I was in third grade and they were teaching you to write in cursive, they were from now on you have to write everything like this. So I just kind of always did. And now even when I write, I spend an hour writing every morning, doing my morning pages, and I write in cursive. And yeah, and sometimes it definitely looks like chicken scratch. And then when I'm paying more attention, it can look really nice and be really readable. But if I try and write in what is non-cursive called?
Free? No, not free.
Handwriting.
Is it?
I think so.
Print, maybe?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
maybe.
if I try and write in not cursive, it my handwriting just looks like I'm 12.
Like you're 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. I write like half script, half not. It's like some of my letters run together, but most of them do not. And I write.
It's definitely fun when it like changes mid-word.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I capitalize all of some letters, like A. I don't write lowercase a's ever. I capitalize them, but write them small.
Yeah, my dad does that. Similar to that, yeah. Only I don't know about A's, but he does a lot like that. Weird. Doesn't smell like a Milky Way, not a Mars bar either. No. Three Musketeers, Mars bar. Is that the same thing? I don't know.
So
Whee!
the most upvoted answer to the question of what is non-cursive on Reddit is either modern or print hand. And then there's another
Print hand.
type of capital print writing called architect's lettering. But that's like all caps writing. So there's really
No.
not a word. There's really not a word for like non-cursive.
No, there's not. Not a.
script or whatever.
Yeah. I used to actually do block text, but I've forgotten, like fraktur. I've forgotten all of that now.
Yeah.
Because I had like a calligraphy stylus that was, wide. I would use with that. But that was in middle school.
You know who's doing really cool calligraphy these days is Nick, our artist friend Nick. Cantu.
That's who I thought
really?
about as soon as you said calligraphy. I was like, Nick.
Yeah. He explores a lot of everything actually. And he'll get really into it for a few months, like enough that he develops proficiency. So he uses
I need to
calligraphy
get a
for-
mint to brush my teeth.
Okay.
Oh, God.
That's great.
I got a care package from Billy. He sent me a hat
Wonderful.
and some like lavender infused oil, like body oil. And I smelled it. I was like, this is Billy. Yeah, this is what Billy smells like. Avocado hemp infused with lavender.
That's funny. It's
Yeah.
like it's like you're gonna get a hug from Billy every time you use it.
Yeah, he sent me a sticker, a hug healing sticker. So
Yeah, he just launched like a line of retail products.
like tinctures and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of like mushroom based products. Yeah, I think a lot of things, and he's going to like the farmer's market.
Nice. Yeah, he gave me an ashwagandha tincture. I made salve. Speaking of, and look how professional. Yay!
Oh, nice.
And there's even directions. Not
Wow.
approved by the FDA. On the back.
What is this?
Are
Sorry.
you planning to sell that?
I'm gonna gift some of it, and then a couple people have wanted to purchase some, but I'm not gonna like set up a farmer's market or anything. I don't know, since it's not ingested, if it needs to be prepared in a commercial kitchen to be sold, like, officially.
I don't think so, actually. If it's not a food product,
Cool.
you're in the clear. Now, if you're trying to make any kind of medical claims, that's where it gets sticky.
Oh, no, I'm just like, this is good for your skin, it does this, but none of this is approved by the FDA, so, use your best judgment.
Or you gotta just put something on the back that says, "This is not snake oil."
Yeah.
Trust me, this is not snake oil. That's all right.
But it's all flowers from my garden in Oregon that I infused into olive oil.
Huh.
And then I got some of that beeswax from Joe's friends.
So,
And
so is it olive oil or is it flower oil?
it's olive oil infused with flour.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Oh no, that's cool. Yeah,
Sorry, you were saying.
breaking up beeswax block is hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
even when it's 100 degrees and it's kind of, soft. It's still hard.
Mm-hmm. You're not. Well, no. Are you just buying it by the block, or are you beekeeping?
That'd be cool. No, I'm just buying it by the block.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the long future goal. To like make sap
fun.
from my own, beekeeping and gardening. I'll always
Something to
buy
look
the
forward
olive
to.
oil though. I'm not ever trying to make olive oil.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
I do not aspire to that. I will support a local or, generation skill past. So,
I will say that the barley sprout tea was not agreeing with me.
you don't like it? Or it doesn't like you?
Ugh. I don't like it.
Are you?
I mean, it
so
wasn't
you're-
agreeing with my taste buds.
Are you like? Yeah. Are you eating ice cream now to clear the palate?
Yeah,
That's
it's the
great.
best way. It's the
It
best way to
is.
clear your palate, I think. Yeah.
Any kind of
Great
ice
way.
cream?
It's like our local generic brand. It's called like candy bar ice cream. I don't know.
I just meant like vanilla, or does it matter?
Oh yeah, normally it's vanilla I use, but this was on sale and it looked enticing. So
It has a candy bar in it.
no, it's like got candy bar style stuff mixed in it.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Little
Like a Heath
chocolate,
bar, it seems like.
Little
Hmm
nugget.
Little caramel chocolate.
I love Heath bars and ice cream.
No, it's not a Heath bar. I don't know what it is.
The crunch.
A little bit of everything. Yeah.
What?
Let me-
I got the email for Build-A-Burn.
Yeah.
I gotta decide if I want to do something with my world.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do really is just ask them to list your world there, right? You've already built it.
Yeah, no, I meant like, do I want to offer? What do I want to offer during the burn?
Yeah.
But that sounds fun. I gotta.
I'm just gonna hang out in here the whole time, like I did last year.
Yeah, I'll probably just hang out in here a lot too. But it'd be fun to have a meditation or something like in the mornings
That'd be great.
in the cave.
We could
I
sit
made a
and-
new bottle and it's so pretty. It's like I used the symmetry tool so it doesn't look all wonky.
Can we switch out the one that's in here?
Is it still in here? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I just walked over.
I thought you said you went and saw it at being the one over with the witch lady doing her nose.
I hear like
Lady
so much
doing the nose.
so much crinkling.
Oh, sorry, that was me. I should have muted.
Oh, you're fine. I was just like, well, I don't know who that is or what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
You know what you need in your world? Right in the middle, you need a huge statue of Endora.
Hmm?
It's bright, colorful something.
Yeah.
Colorful stuff.
Yeah. If you want to add color, add Endora.
But yeah, the bottle is in the west over by the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go peek.
It's a lot big. Big. Big cup.
So, Jeremy, are you keeping your decor on until tomorrow evening?
I will put it back on for certain.
You know, that's like you know, the players, they have their like lucky socks that they don't take off for the entire season. You know, it could be.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, once playoffs start, for sure, you just wear the same underwear as long as you keep winning.
Don't mind the UTIs, it's fine. It'll go away.
After the season.
Hey Kayla, we were meeting on Monday evening in the bottle, and Brian popped in, and he was really happy to see the bottle and was asking why it's not in the marketplace yet.
Brian Cutie?
No, Brian.
Oh,
you know,
the
world builder.
Brian Switchko.
Yeah.
the one who had the wedding in here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just got the email about the Build-A-Burn, and it also talks about the marketplace. So, I'm actually working on pillows to add to it as like a kit. But yeah, I can do that. Topia things, yay!
Wait, so this is a little bit of a conflict. So they're promoting a marketplace to sell assets during Burning Man. I'm all for it, but like, that's...
Oh, against the principles of Burning Man, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it was a separate thing.
Oh,
it was just
okay.
the email being like, "Hey, these are the things that are coming up with Topia," and it was
see.
pointed. It wasn't directly like, buy stuff for the Build-A-Burn.
Yeah. Build Burning Man icons to sell in our marketplace.
Oh, does it say that?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, I'm like, it might. I don't know.
You could like you could build the whole library of like all the iconic things of the playa.
Yeah.
Could you imagine those nasty assets? I mean, I know that like Topia released a whole bunch of really great ones that were like just like iconic art.
Yeah. Like
But,
the
like,
two people
the
with
other-
the babies inside.
Yeah, the other ones would be like, you know, like sparkle ponies or, you know, like a fleet of like Silicon Valley techies driving past on segways. What else? Maybe like, yeah.
I liked the porta potties that when you walked by them, they were like making noise.
Well,
was
that's
funny.
what Sam did. Sam did that.
Oh,
he
haha.
attached the toilet noise to the porta potties.
That was funny last year.
So real. So real.
Yeah.
Although, if anything, like, if you're going to hear anything coming from the porta potties, it's not a flush, but it's, like, usually, like, really painful grunts.
Yeah.
Of, like, somebody who's, like, having a hard time, like...
Or just like
It's me.
rambling. Like
No,
weird,
like,
like, what are you
worse-
even saying?
Yeah, it's not even just like digestional problems. It's like somebody who is like on a different level and like shouldn't be enclosed in a small space like that, but
But
their
they are.
digestive system is telling them that they need to be, and there's like a huge conflict there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember like trying to unlock my bicycle, and like Billy was there, and we were both like on a journey, and I think he was at a different peak than I was, and like he was standing there doing his like Billy thing, just, you know, head back, arms down, like you know, waving, and I was having such a hard time getting my bike undone, and this couple across from us looked at him and was like, "Help her!" Like, what are you doing right now? And I remember that being really funny to me. Like, thank you, advocate, random advocate.
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go. I got some things I gotta take care of.
Speaking of porter
All right.
potties, it was good to see you, Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Hope
Yeah.
I was
hope
just
you
Have a
have
good time.
evening.
Oh,
We love
Yeah,
you.
you too.
Be well. Rest well.
bye.
Bye.
Do more cross stitch.
Was he doing cross stitch?
Well, I'm trying to encourage him to do it because yeah, it's a good thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good activity. It's kind of like paint by numbers, you know, because it's all just this like matrix, and you know, you just got to put the cross stitch exactly on the spot it needs to be.
Yeah.
Oh man. I just went to go let the dogs outside, and there was a coyote down in like in the middle of the field.
Oh damn.
Nice.
Which it's kind of odd to see a coyote standing out in the open at 4:30 in the afternoon.
It's probably like, do you have any water?
Yeah.
It's so
Probably.
hot.
Yeah, probably. But that's also like the first time I think since we moved here that I like know the dogs have seen a coyote and like didn't take off after it. So that's like a huge win.
Good.
They're good dogs. Yes.
Well, they also know how hot it is outside, and they're like, you know what, we're doing pretty good in the AC over here.
Yeah.
But they just saw the coyote from out the window, or like, did you like open the door?
No, I stepped outside to let them out to go to the bathroom because
Oh,
they
I see.
hadn't in a long time, and I like all of a sudden I looked at one of the dogs and the dog was like on point, and then like started taking a couple steps and like I stopped her and then I was able to see what she was looking at and like looked about like 100 feet away. It's like a big ass coyote, like the same like equal size to them, which is pretty big for a coyote.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't chase after it. And that's good dogs. So, yes, they're good dogs.
What's your closest water for like the wildlife, like the coyotes?
There isn't one.
Oh shoot! Well, you better put a bowl out.
But I'm sure there's a creek that runs some. I'm sure there's a creek and like running water somewhere within miles. But like where specifically, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad, but I don't exactly want to put a bowl out and like give them a place to come.
Yeah.
Because that will create more opportunities for problems.
Yeah.
I'm okay with them keeping their space from us.
Yeah. It was interesting. On Friday, I had, a pretty deep look into the concept of fragility, from the conflict that I had last week of being accused of white fragility. And I found the conversation at 3 different points with chat, like, kind of comparing the challenges of fragility is like we grow up in vacuums, of our own lives, our own perspectives, without being able to like relate And so it can like cause fear, or it can cause like an irrational prejudice against something just because we can't understand it. And the chat at 3 different points related that to like not just interhuman relationships, but like interspecies relationships, like such as this that you're talking about, of like, or like bears or sharks, or you know, like these like savage kind of animals that we kind of have an irrational fear of, versus trying to like find a common ground and a way to coexist and support one another in a healthy way where, you know, so like
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I'm empathetic to the challenges that wildlife around us has.
mm-hmm.
This is the first time in 6 years that these dogs have seen a coyote and not taken off after it, and I've had to like spend the next 2 hours running to find them.
Yeah.
So it's less that I'm afraid of the coyotes and more that I don't trust our dogs to like be able to behave maturely and not chase after them.
Yeah.
Then it's just not safe for them.
Yeah.
If I had dogs that would just bark at them from a distance and be like, get off my lawn kind of thing, and not chase after them,
Yeah.
it'd be a different story. And I'd like go down to the fence and I'd put out water and I would go down to the fence and put out some water for them and stuff. There's definitely water in the bird bath outside.
But like, what would be a more sustainable solution, like scalable solution, not just for your relationship with those animals, but like with everybody, you know, that lives in the area. So like in like tea growing regions in India right now, there's like a big movement towards developing like safe passageways for wildlife to do their natural migration patterns so that they don't, you know, interrupt the village life. Because then when that happens, there's like this fear, and the animals get more harmed from humans than they do from their own, you know, just natural predators or whatever.
Yeah, I have a friend, or well, I wouldn't call him a friend, but it's somebody that I know and I am friendly with when I'm around them, but it's not like we have any like relationship. We just kind of like have overlapping Venn diagrams.
Yeah.
And she does work on that in Southern California, working on finding funding for the building of highway bypasses.
Yeah.
For animals.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome to hear her talk about that work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, you know, because oftentimes people just like, you know, just have this fear, and it's like, it's not our problem. If they start coming in our space, it's like, just shoot them.
Right.
You know, like, and it's like, hey, we, you know, and this translates into our interpersonal relationships, our human relationships. It's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I really should have heard more of that conversation. Was the moment I sat down. When he's in my space, shoot it.
Yeah, we were talking about you. We were talking about you, Jeremy.
10 seconds.
We need to build highways for safe passage of Jeremy across our spaces so that we don't feel threatened by him. They're doing that in Austin. My brother was telling me that like a couple of different like highway bypasses have been made, and they're specifically for animals to cross. Like no people or vehicles are crossing it. It's just for animals, which is great. Yeah. Because we can and should coexist, and you know, like it's at the end of the day, it's our problem for developing, you know, into their pre-established Have
This
it
is our planet. They just live on it,
Yeah.
and we'll do what we need to with it, and they'll figure it out, or they won't, and that's really not our problem.
It's okay. We'll just shoot them. It's fine. We got poison. Just tie up your dogs when we put the poison out.
Damn.
Yeah, like I mean,
There
I
are people that
definitely-
are like this, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
I-
mindset.
I went to the store, and it was like, what do I do about all the poison oak on my property? And they're like, spray Roundup.
Ooh.
No thanks.
There's got to be like a more like synergetic interplanting strategy that could help with that.
Hmm.
Possibly, like things that
Yeah, I mean,
to live around it.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's healthier ways to get rid of it. That there's just like people have recommended like vinegar and soap solutions
Mm-hmm.
that'll at least like kill it without poisoning your water.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough about it to know like if I plant something else, will it prevent it from coming back, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But it's definitely not an endangered species of plant.
Yeah.
It thrives out here. I would just appreciate it if it thrived a little further from my house.
Have you gotten really good at identifying it? Like,
Oh yeah,
quick? That's good. That's
Yeah.
the best thing you can do for yourself.
yeah. That didn't take long.
So I know now.
How about the dogs? Do they have any reaction to it?
So the dogs don't react to it, but they can get covered in, but so basically what it is you have a reaction to an oil on the plant. So the dogs don't react to it, but they can get covered. They can, like, if they rub up against it, then the oil will be on them.
Yeah, that's so good. And then they'll
And
bring it home to
They
you.
won't react to it, but they'll bring it in the house.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so that's...
Yeah. So we do a pretty good job keeping them away from it. Didn't stop. There's actually some tobacco that grows on the property as well, just in a couple of the planters, and that's like really sticky.
Mm-hmm.
And Maya definitely just like rolled on top of a giant tobacco plant the other day.
So she smells like a chain smoker now?
No, she had to get a bath immediately because it's like a thing of it's like a bed with a bunch of like wood chips in it. So she's rolling around on this sticky plant in a bed of wood chips. And when she got up, it was just like stuck to her entire side.
That's funny.
And it was really cute until it was like, oh wait, now I have to give you a bath, like right now.
She's like, just happy tail.
Oh, she was having a great time rolling around in it. She didn't enjoy the bath.
Yeah, up until bath time, she's just like, this is great.
I wonder if the tobacco was like stimulating at all.
If it isn't the sticky stuff nicotine?
Yeah, right?
Isn't that nicotine?
Could be.
So she was a little buzzed.
I mean, she didn't eat it. She just rolled around in it.
Maybe
Well, I mean,
You
don't they
could
put
have
the nicotine
absorbed
on the
it.
patches? That's just like through the surface of the skin.
Well,
Maybe.
but dogs don't sweat, do they? They don't have sweat glands.
Oh yeah. They
Oh
do.
yeah, so if they did, that dog would have been white. crazy wired.
It was definitely not something that I was planning on doing that day, and got to do.
Sometimes, life throws
It happens.
curveballs. Yeah.
It's not like she didn't need a bath.
A bat?
Bath?
Oh, a bath. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
always
like it'd be one thing if I had like bathed there 2 days before, but it had been a couple of weeks at least. And they get so fluffy and fuzzy when you give them baths. It lasts for like 2 days.
That's sweet. Yeah, so it was a win-win. Dog gotta have fun, and you got a big fuzzy fun dog.
Yep.
Yeah, Jeremy, so I brought that topic up because, last week I brought to the table that the issue I had personally with, dealing with fragility, like dealing with like the discomfort of like not making it about myself. And so I did like a deep dive study into the concept of like social fragility, which is a pretty well established area of psychology and philosophy. And like the conversation kept getting related back, because like ultimately, like right now in the current context, it's really important. Like if you're talking about interpersonal fragility, especially in this country, race is a very important, community identifier that's causing, a lot of fragility. But people were so uncomfortable, and that's the whole definition of fragility is that like they're uncomfortable talking about it. And so it kept getting related to like more interspecies relationships, which is like, the challenges of different species being able to relate with each other, and it causing like irrational fear and bias and prejudice. And so that's why we were talking about, that conflict of humans like not trying to cultivate relationships with dangerous animals versus just,
Yeah.
protecting themselves against them.
I knew a professor, medieval history. He thought the Renaissance was one of the most destructive cultural movements in history.
Why is that?
And because they drained the swamp to create Florence. Florence was a massive swampland, so they literally just created a city from a swamp. But he said it was the first time in history where we manipulated the earth to create something for ourselves. And in that moment, we essentially divorced ourselves from nature. And it made sense, actually, what he was talking about. Because there really was a more, it wasn't entirely symbiotic relationship, but it was more relevant up until then, until they realized that we have the technology to go through nature and do whatever we want. And that's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like one of the first examples of like terraforming?
Pretty much. It really was, nature didn't matter. Nature was in the way. Is basically what happened. So the Renaissance to him was destructive in that way. It was an entire celebration of man.
So, like on an ideological level, what came with the Renaissance was also human centricism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's it kickstarted. It was a period that started like in the 1300s, depending on the historians, up until like the early 1500s. But obviously around 1500, you have this massive transformation in social, religious, political institutions. And a lot of it was based around this is the first time in our existence where we didn't see ourselves as a part of nature, but as owners of nature and manipulator of nature. So it was one reason why it triggered an entire social movements.
Could that be related to at least like the Christian and Catholic teachings around being kicked out of the garden?
Wait, say that again? I didn't hear the last part.
Could it be related to essentially to the fall of man and like being kicked out of the garden? We don't need the garden.
Well,
ourselves.
Well, it's just that we can create the garden from anything we want now.
Or at least so we think.
It basically is like man assuming the power of God. We can create anything we want wherever we want it, and we have that power now. So we're not stewards of nature, we are now the controller, the masters of nature. So it's very selfish of us to do that. It's very bad. Bad human.
Interesting.
I feel like if Joe were here, he would probably try and press this somehow.
He'd be down for the conversation, I imagine.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep it light.
Oh, so yeah, the correct word is anthropocentrism. That's was the word I was looking for, not human centricism.
Jeremy, I appreciate you bringing that kind of information. I haven't really thought of it in that light, and it's really interesting to me.
Like human-to-human interaction, when it comes to sin is essentially imposing your will on another person. I mean, that's it. That's the easiest way to describe it.
Does it have to be a person?
And that's the point. So what if you imposed your will on nature?
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what happened. We can will anything into nature, like we can will it to happen, but you're destroying. Of course, the argument is that we're transforming nature, that we are creating the garden from a swamp. But essentially, we are imposing our will on nature. And that's what happened. So it can be argued that it was a sinful act to do that. But we did get the Renaissance, and it was very cool. But it had its issues.
I think though that the ideology may have been laid out ahead of time, but perhaps like in that period of time, in that period of like human development, the power became strong enough to do something so bold like that of Florence. Because I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and it says that people have explored the Old Testament roots of anthropocentrism and how it shaped human views of non-human animals. Some Christian proponents base their belief on the Bible, such as verse 126 in the book of Genesis, the word dominion. They use that as the argument for it. So like the ideology is rooted probably in some time before the Renaissance, but perhaps like that was like when the power got strong enough that we started really making some big damage, and now it's just like it's all over, man. Like fuck, it's really bad now.
It's like intention matters. When you build a dam, people can see it as destructive, as manipulating nature, but there is intention there that you could argue that this is a good thing and it's a productive thing. And if it's done in a way that it's not harming or just removing entire species out of the way, then okay, that's an aspect of manipulating nature that's beneficial to us without being too destructive. But in the case of Florence, is we're going to do whatever we want. We want this to happen, and they just took it away.
Yeah.
It was
Well, I think
extraordinary.
there's probably a lack of consciousness and understanding of the full magnitude of the effects.
Yeah.
It's when you look at I always forget his name, and I think I mentioned this before. When you look, there are cycles to history, and you have the Hellenistic and the Hebrew. The Hebrew believes that there is a limit to what the human beings can do when we fall short because we always need the aid of a higher power. The Hellenistic view is that we can create, through our own will, we can create perfection without the help of sort of a higher power. So the Renaissance was a stage in history where what you do is you assume the power of God, that you can create anything you want because you are capable of making perfection. But at its height, it always triggers a movement where people begin to realize that this isn't that we fall short, that we don't have that power, that our will should not be imposed on others. So from the Renaissance, you go into the Reformation, which was an entirely social movement that transitioned the entire Western world into the Enlightenment. So we're kind of still stuck in the Enlightenment, in the industrial age, because there's people predicting that we're sort of overdue for a social kind of revolution where we all have to humble ourselves. And then essentially it's like hitting the reset button every few generations. But the Enlightenment has been going on for longer than we anticipated, or longer than would have been predicted. So whatever movement's going to break this down is probably going to be rather extreme.
So the Renaissance was what, like 200 years?
It's late 1300s to the early 1500s.
So 100, call it $150?
Yeah, 150 to 200 years, depending on who you ask, but at least 150 years. The entire 1400s.
Okay.
Like, you can say that for certain.
And then Reconstruction, the Reformation, leading into the Enlightenment is basically what kicked off the Industrial Age, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, so the Reformation was just like a reshuffling of the deck. And
so that had to happen kind of quickly.
And that happened very quickly. Within a generation, Europe was completely socially, spiritually, politically transformed.
And that generation then was only like 30 years.
30 to 50, like I would say about 40 years. It's a generation, 30 to 40. Because before, when you go from the Roman Empire to the Dark Ages to probably the Carolingian, the Renaissance under Charlemagne, Carolingian Renaissance, into the supposed other stages of the Dark Ages. So those were nice, long, slow, smooth transitions from human accomplishment to social accomplishment. So like physical accomplishment to social or spiritual. But the transition from the Renaissance to the Reformation was very extreme, and it happened very quickly. But typically it works out better that way. the more extreme the change, the faster people can adapt to it. It's just, and then so when historians look back on this era, it's like we're way overdue for some massive social reshuffling. And it seems like when it happens, it's going to be extreme.
But it still kind of happens on a time scale of a human lifetime. So we could very well potentially be going through that right now and not really know or at least understand it. And we know the times are changing right now. We can all kind of feel it.
Yeah.
But we don't really understand what that change looks like, and we very well may not live to see it.
Yeah, and it probably won't be for another 2 or 3 generations where it's properly assessed to know, was it a good thing or a bad thing? Because certain things are going to get destroyed along the way, and certain things will sort of arise. But it's the later generations that will assess it in a way that it's like, this is probably more destructive than productive.
And then how does like the exponential curve of like computing power affect all of this as well? I mean, because with technology is like growing at an increasing rate.
Yeah.
So
Faster than we anticipated it. The head of the patent office, this is around 1900, the head of the United States Patent Office, when he was first put into office, he assessed things and determined there is no more need for us. Everything that can be invented has been invented. And he actually went to, and it was the calculating machine he thought was the height of human achievement. And he said, there's no more need for us. We can't do better than this. It's not possible. So his generation thought, like, this is like, we've reached it.
and that was in like the early 1900s, yeah?
Yeah, that was about 1900. So you can argue for like little mini kind of revolution, because you do have World War I and World War II, then all of that, but it didn't necessarily change the world in a social way as to the extent that other movements in the past did.
Fascinating thinking about our experiences in the context of human history.
Yeah.
Yeah, history is... It needs to be taken a little bit more seriously, but it needs to be more analytical. It's like, you know, it is true, like the history, you always have to read history in the context, like history was written by the victors. But if you, you look hard enough, there's certain truths that will arise. But again, I'm I guess medieval, and I think it's true with medieval history. He said it's the best form of history. He said it's like medieval history is like a beautiful piece of lace, because we have just enough material to hold it together, and enough holes to fill in the blank. Ancient history, we have so little, it's like a fragile cloth that's going to fall apart. And modern history is that we have so much information that we can almost we can assess things almost a little too accurately. We have too much information.
Well, no, so we can selectively present information to build it into whatever we want it to be.
It's we have too much stuff. And when you have too much, you can manipulate it into ways, you can make it say anything you want, because there's so much information. is that people aren't going to take the time to digest anything themselves. They're going to have to rely on other people to interpret it for them. So there's a danger there. And it's good, or there's positives there. But our generation, you know, that generation it's the generations that follow that need to reassess what's happening right now. We just do the best we can, and you know, I guess hope it works out for the better.
So
But typically,
on all of the, I kind of went down a rabbit hole on all of these topics, and like every single article or, you know, site that was describing kind of the histories and the like historical context of these ideologies, all of them related this to ethnocentrism, geocentrism, like patriarch, like, so it's interesting how they're all deeply connected with one another. So like when we're talking about anti-racism and we're talking about feminism, we really have to talk about this topic as well. They all go together.
yeah, I think it's like we're stuck in the middle. We need to really analyze broader history, the cycles of history, because there is a predictability that to history that we need to keep in context of the things that we're doing right now. But at the same time, we also need to look at like the microcosm, that sometimes we're overlooking individuals themselves and individual experiences, that oftentimes two people are kind of like, we're stuck in the middle. We're focusing too much on groups and not enough on people, or too much in groups and not enough in the whole. So that's you can make that argument that we need to be a little bit more introspective.
And the solution, and the work that I've done so far, and the articles I've read, they all agree, the same thing is agreed, that the social cohesion is what's needed, and that there's a role in like our personal lives and behaviors to contribute towards that, but also the state, you know, like the government can have infrastructures to support social cohesion. And I'm thinking, yeah, like no constitution, no government actually directly addresses that. Like I think South Africa is going through some kind of debate about how to include social cohesion into their policies and infrastructures. But it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is so when you talk about social cohesion, I mean, is that like
it's like
everybody gets along?
Yeah, it's like it's like having a shared like solidarity or a shared interest, which we all have, including the animals and the earth and the environment and the soil and the water, right? It's like all to live in harmony, regardless of different opinions or different experiences. Like we can still all agree upon that and have that cohesion. But no government has ever addressed it.
I don't know if the government could do that successfully. Yeah, I mean, it really, like you said, it hasn't happened in any productive way. Does that mean there's no serious intention of ever doing it? Or maybe it really isn't possible?
Well, they do interfere in it by writing a constitution or writing like a document that declares like all man is created equal. Like they're making a pretty bold statement that like they're principled in that, right? But then it's like kind of haphazard, because if you make a statement like that in an environment that already does have division and maybe caste systems or social hierarchies going on already, Like, you can't just make a blanket statement like that and say, okay, we're all good. Our government is principled on this. We can move on. It's like, no, we're not. Like, there's a lot of work still to be done, and that's evolving work. So we can't like make one document and one protocol that's always going to work. It's got to be fluid. And that's kind of where like bureaucracy comes in. Like, that's kind of the role of bureaucracy, is really to like be that glue, that liaisons between the lawmaking and the justice system and the people, and the like behaviors of the other like independent institutions from the government. But bureaucracies are never mentioned in constitutions either. And it's like, why not? Like, there's no accountability or protocol around bureaucracies. They're all just kind of left up for Congress or for legislative to kind of establish and fund, versus like really having like an established goal of like, bureaucracies are here to like maintain trust between everybody so that social cohesion can happen. But governments certainly, and then like, so an article I was reading yesterday was saying that like those blanket statements of like all man is created equal, or all man has the right to human rights, or all citizens have the right to rights, can actually be more detrimental. And they used South Africa, post-apartheid South Africa, as the example. Of course, before apartheid, like, I mean, everybody kind of converged together to get rid of apartheid. And then the new constitution stated, okay, everybody's equal. But then there was already these pre-established social structures that ended up creating more tension and more divide when, like, overnight, like, affirmative action became a thing, or like these, there's a lot, not just affirmative action, but like a lot of these things became a thing, and then it just like perpetuated resentment and division that was already there, versus like addressing those structures that are already there and like putting in the work to like rebuild and restore the cohesion and the glue between everybody.
Isn't that kind of the same story that happened here in the States?
Yes.
With like the Civil War happens.
Yes.
Slaves are freed.
Yes.
The 14th Amendment gets passed.
Yep.
And then the people are like, yeah, that's cool. We don't really care.
Yep.
We're going to keep doing what we do.
Yep.
And then you get the KKK lynching everybody.
Yep. Yep. So it's not good enough just for government to say, because the government's obviously like meddling in this, like they want to be involved in it. They make those blanket statements, and 14th Amendment is a great example of that. Like, women didn't even have the right to vote at that time. How dare you say something like the 14th Amendment without really having the systems in place to make that authentic? So the governments and states are definitely like putting their nose into it, as they should. Like social cohesion is something that like multiple layers, like the entire system should be involved in that, including us as individuals. But the state definitely has a role in it, and it's kind of haphazard. So I was thinking, could you imagine if we had like a fourth branch of the government that was like, so we'd have the executive, the judicial, the legislative, and then social cohesion branch that like, glues everything together.
Well, I mean, we kind of do, in that the fourth branch of the government is the media. That kind of like controls the narrative of what's happening in the government and the information, and disseminates information to the people. But where this line of thinking has gotten me going is kind of like, we have a representative democracy because from a technological standpoint, it was just not possible for direct democracy. for every person to have a vote on everything.
Yeah.
We might be nearing a time that is actually technologically feasible.
Of course. Yeah.
But history shows that, again, the only truly functioning direct democracy was Greece, right? Long time ago. Greece led to the terror of the 30 tyrants. Democracy was, when democracy fell apart in Greece, it was an era of terror and authoritarianism and dictatorship. Because like if you read the Republic from Plato, he puts democracy one step above dictatorship. Because he says when you're functioning in a direct democracy, you're one step away from being led by a tyrant. And the thinking was that people will go on and on and on about how they want complete control over their own lives. They want a say in their lives. When they're given that, they typically don't want to bear the responsibility of that. So they hand the power over to somebody else, and that power becomes complete and absolute. So direct democracy is that, and that's what I think with Aristotle. Direct democracy can work. I think he said like 30,000 people. Like he actually gave a number. It can work at a local level with tens of thousands of people, but you cannot apply it to a larger scale than that. That would just create absolute chaos.
And I agree with that. I mean, I think
It's probably the best form of a small sort of city-state. That works. But Athens was a massive city, and it was too much. Oh shoot, I gotta go. I'm gonna be late. Yes. On that note,
I appreciate what you bring, Jeremy, and I like that it was small today and you got a lot of floor space.
yeah. Of course, my appearance gives me legitimacy in everything that I say.
Yeah, exactly.
This gives me an added level of authority.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Jeremy, thank you so much for helping contribute to my questions and whatnot. It was super helpful.
Yeah.
Bringing
And,
classicism knowledge to the tea table.
Yeah. I'll try and sign on Monday. But I'll just keep in touch with you and tell you what's going on next week and when I'm, on my way.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait to have you here in the hot ass desert.
Oh gosh.
Hey, I don't care. As long as it's dry, I don't care.
Drink lots of water before you get here.
Yep.
this is the last one you're ever gonna get.
Drink lots of water anywhere you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There was someone, he had a very good description of Midwest versus the West Coast. And he said, it all depends on the personality you are. In the Midwest, you're slow broiled. In the West, you're flash fried. So he says, which would you prefer? and dry heat all the way. Dry heat for the win.
Yeah, wouldn't that just be like air fried? Is that the same thing? Air fried and flash fried? Is that the same thing?
It's either being flash fried or air fried or a nice slow broil or roasted.
I mean, some could say that out here in the West now we're just getting cooked over an open flame.
Yeah.
That's true. So then
But
what
you're not like being like so. But you're not in the oven with the door closed, and you don't know when you're ever gonna get out.
No.
So either way, it's unpleasant. That's one way to say it. All right. Well, yeah, I'm late for my thing already, but this was more important. I'll see you guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Jeremy. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Oh damn, Don says he's at 118. Don says he's at 118. I think he wins. He wins
Yeah.
today. Yeah, he's in Phoenix.
I'm sorry, Don.
Don's not in Topia. He doesn't win.
Whoa, Don, did you hear that? Yeah, he had to leave for a lot of today's session, but he's been back. He just contributed a cute little pun to our last conversation we were having, authority. That's the viewpoint we're coming from over here, authority. Now, I think
Nice.
it's super valuable to like have these very difficult conversations about the things that we need to be talking about in the sense of like our relationship with and the environment or with animals or whatever, because that's something that like people are a whole lot less triggered about. But like the concepts and the ideologies and the history is all related. It's all the same, you know? So that felt like a pretty empowering discovery to make over the past week, and I'm going to explore that more and see like if it will lead to more effective discourse and conversation.
For sure.
Versus always making it about race, you know, because like I had a couple of people in the Reddit, like there was 600 people on Reddit that were a part of this conversation, and that was awesome in and of itself, you know. But there were a couple of people from the UK that just kept commenting like, why do you always make this about race? Why has it got to be about race? And it's like, well, because that's the reality of it. But anytime like we brought it into the context of talking about like our relationship with big scary animals, like it was there was a lot of productive conversation going on because people could relate with that and have opinions on that without you know, getting emotionally charged or triggered, you know.
Jeremy is a really smart dude.
He's super
Yeah.
smart.
Uh-huh. He's like, just says these things. I'm like, wow, that was a lot. And it was like poetic most of the time. He's like, when I was studying in Ireland, or whatever it was the other week.
But, you know, I am sad to also report from that little rabbit hole I just went down into, like, all of the origins of this anthropocentrism is rooted in Judaism and Christianity. All of it. And, like, there's some contributions from Confucianism, Confucius, but... you know, so that's kind of a bold thing to have to think about, you know, that a lot of these issues are contributed from very specific ideologies and histories.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily surprising when you also look at like those are kind of like the dominant ideologies that have informed a large amount of human history. And especially like the humans that have had the most influence in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's necessarily surprising. And I think there's a lot of it that has, when you look at a lot of that stuff, there's aspects of humans twisting teachings for twisting the teachings of these cultures for their own good as well. So I don't really know what I'm saying.
No, yeah, you're saying valid things. I mean, that's how it's like snowballed and it's like kind of evolved and become a much bigger monster than just the word dominion, you know, like the word dominion, that single word it was the root of it, but it's turned into, you know, a huge system But you know, the important question for us to think about and to like have discussion with, you know, our communities and friends and family is like, so what's the solution then? Like how to heal?
Right. I mean, at a certain point, is the solution as simple as the golden rule of treating your neighbor as yourself? Whether that neighbor is a human or a coyote or an oak tree, like, take care of the world around you the way that you would take care of yourself. And if everybody did that, the world would be a great place. And on one hand, it really is that simple. On the other hand, like, are we actually capable of doing that? I know I'm not.
At Omega Mart, the Meow Wolf art, you know, they have like all these rows of, I mean, it's a fake grocery store with all fake things, and everything is for sale, and it's all kind of ironic and social commentary on the labels, but there's a like a cleaner, like you know, a natural based, you know, all surface cleaner that they sell, like a spray cleaner, and it's like, if we all just think about trash, there would be less trash. Could you imagine a world where, you know, 20 million people a day just think about how much trash is there? We were getting a laugh out of that because, you know, the friend that was visiting, he's from Boulder. Well, he's from Denver, which is near Boulder, and we were talking about the culture in Boulder because there's like a strong like self-identified tea culture in Boulder. But when you go to Boulder, like, there's not a whole lot of tea being drank there. Like, there's a lot of like tea shops, but they're drinking like herbal things, and he was like kind of educating me on the culture there, that it's a lot of that like virtue signaling type of a thing, where yeah, like people are just like thinking about that stuff but not actually really acting. And so that label was just that, like, could you imagine a world where we all just thought about it? Like, imagine all the change that we could make. But
no, imagine all of if half the people that thought about it did something about it.
Yeah. That's the solution. But this other problem that we're talking about like a human-centric viewpoint, is like, that's a hard one to break, because like you said, the golden rule, of course they're already practicing the golden rule, but you know, implanted within that golden rule is this superiority that like the only neighbors that matter are your human neighbors.
Right.
And that's a deep thing to get them to expand that viewpoint, to see that the trees and the coyotes and, you know, everything, the water is their neighbor as well. Oh, you got a baby.
Yeah. It's my baby.
I keep getting these like spam group texts, and I don't know how to block it, and it's driving me nuts. It's like, do you want $50 to put a Dasani label on your car? And because it's in a group text, it's not letting me like block. Maybe I have to do it individually?
Yeah, I think you have to go to each individual number and block them. Or at least like block the sender.
I don't even know who the sender is.
Oh, shoot.
Like, it just lists all of the texts, so it doesn't say like, or all of the numbers. It's not like, who is it from?
If you long click on the message, you might be able to like get info on it.
Oh, here we go. This person. 704. All right. Let's find you. There it is. It's down at the bottom. I'm gonna block you. Okay.
Good work, Kayla. That's your,
This has been happening for like 3 days, and I've just been like, I don't know how to fix this right now. So. Yeah, what a crazy week. So.
Well, it's good to see you here, Kayla. We were a little worried we weren't going to see you today, so it means a lot to spend some time with you. We hope your week goes better.
Yeah, eventually, I think, maybe. I don't know. I hope. I went to PT yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, I was so wiped out afterwards. But I think it was a good process. So I'm gonna go back tomorrow. And then I don't have anything else planned, so I can just rest.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. I'm really tired of resting though, and not going outside and not being around people and just being alone with my thoughts and stuff. So. Oh wow.
I can understand that.
Yeah. But I got some really good blueberries right now. They're not as good as you know, when I had them on the tree, but c'est la vie.
Kayla, did you ever take a look at that podcast? Did you ever get into it yet?
The one that you sent, like, it's not on there. I scrolled through and it was episode 140, and it went from like episode 150 to something else. Like, that specific episode wasn't there.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll try to find a better link for you. Because I know it's somewhere. You know, do you listen to Apple, like Apple Music? Because I definitely saw it on Apple.
Well, I went to the Spotify version of the podcast that because you sent me the link and it was like, link won't open. So
Yeah.
I looked at the podcast and just looked through all the episodes, and that one I couldn't find it. So, but I don't use Apple. I mostly just use Spotify.
That's interesting. I wonder if they took it down. But like, that's definitely like one of their more popular series. So I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, they've got a lot of other episodes. It's just like
There was a
Chinese
lot.
history. Yeah.
I did find an audio version of Women Who Run with the Wolves, and I'm reading it right now too. So I'm like reading and then listening. So that's kind of cool. And I booked a flight to Oregon for the 4th of July, and I'm hoping I can do it. After yesterday, I was like, can I go be in an airport and go to an entirely new state? Like, will that be okay?
You'll do great.
I mean, I thought so. Hopefully by next week, I'm like much better.
Yeah. Well, you'll have something to look forward to, if anything.
Yeah, that was my goal. I was like, I need something in my life.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just not another concussion.
Yeah.
And the Build-A-Burn.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Yeah, I've got a lot of work to look forward to. I've done a lot of work. I feel really good. I've like cleared way in storage so that like I can clear out, you know, all the space here and start putting things on display and getting ready for our stuff. But yeah, that reminds me, I've got a package I gotta get over to the UPS store before they close in 20 minutes. So I should go get on that. It's been a lovely pleasure to reconnect.
And you, at least you've got plenty to look forward to. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're
a
busy
lot.
for days.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I wasn't trying to complain, but it's a good, like, that's actually like something that keeps me like thriving, is like having something to look forward to. And that's why like the beginning of the pandemic, I think, was like really like hard for us because like what was there to look forward to? What?
The what? The what was hard?
The pandemic, like especially at the beginning, because it was like, what was there to look forward to? Like that's why I started streaming, because at least I had that to look forward to. Like, okay, at 2 o'clock, I gotta like figure this shit out again, and talk about something new. But yeah, we all have great things, especially you, Sam. You've got like new opportunities. Who knows? Then you're gonna be doing some really cool shit.
No, I'm really grateful for this community that we've built. That I think we didn't just like sit around waiting for this to be over, so that we could go back to our lives. We were kind of like, all right, well, let's do something.
Yeah.
Have something to look forward to every Thursday.
Yeah. Gotta do something, and we did. And I think it's been pretty freaking awesome, and grateful for you guys, for you ladies.
Thank you, Sam.
For you people.
Yep, I'm a people. That's okay. Okay, well, I will, be in touch. See you around and Monday. See you on Monday.
Bye.
Have a great weekend. Stay cool. Drink lots of water. Much love.
Me too.
All right. Do we have anybody on Twitch right now? We got 2. Who's here? Let me see. Who's here. Who's here? And if it's some friends, we can go raid. We can go raid. Friends. She rated us yesterday, but let's see who's here. Who am I taking? I won't be taking anybody. Well, Academy Impossible's here. Yeah, let's just go raid T-Fans. Might as well. It's always good fun to say hello. She came and rated us last night, so we can get her back. Or no, two days ago they rated us. Oh, and she's outdoors. Wonderful. Tea outdoors is always fun. Come join the Tea Raid. Let's go say hi to Tea friends. Thank you so much for hanging out today, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Best Life Friday. So much love. Let's go get it.